Hi everybody, welcome back. Thanks for joining me for another royal news video. So we have got some lovely royal news. We have a new baby announcement. Princess Beatrice, who was due to give birth to her second child with her husband Edo in early spring, it would seem that baby Athena Elizabeth Rose couldn't wait to be introduced to the world, and it was a case of ready or not. Here I come. But mother and baby are said to be doing very well. She only weighed 4 pounds, so she's quite a dinky baby. But you can see here, she is definitely going to be another beautiful one. So a big congratulations to the couple. So on Monday, we saw the royals, the senior royals, out and about attending various services because it was Holocaust Memorial Day. This year was a particularly poignant one because it was the 80th anniversary since the liberation of Auschwitz. King Charles flew over to a service in Poland that he attended with other world leaders. It is always a day of reflection and deep sadness, but the light that always shines through the darkness are the stories that are told by the inspirational men and women that survived the camps, the people that helped hide and rescue them, with many families alive today because of the defiance and the bravery of others. The King became the first British monarch to take a tour of Auschwitz and the museum. It's a trip that my husband said he'd like to do, but I've said to him that it's one I don't think I'd ever be able to do. I have read and seen many of the horrors from watching documentaries over the years, and I don't think that I could emotionally handle going to the museum and seeing all of those bags and shoes. I mean, even talking about it now, I can feel myself, the emotions coming up. I don't think I'd sleep for weeks, and I think that I'd start crying and I wouldn't stop, and no one really needs a wailing woman going to something like that. But as I said, whilst the horrors should never be forgotten, there are so many inspirational people that come together every year. The stories that were told at this service even made King Charles shed a tear himself. I can't imagine that many people wouldn't actually become upset listening to these stories and people recounting their memories and the loved ones lost during this most horrific time, as I said, in history. Then in the UK, we had the Prince and Princess of Wales that attended a beautiful service held at Guildhall in honour of all of the survivors. Catherine wearing a lovely black outfit and a collection of pearls, each with their own personal meaning. Her pearl bracelet was Princess Diana's, her beautiful pearl earrings belonged to our late Queen, and her 5-strand pearl necklace was designed by Susan Kaplan, who is a Jewish jewellery designer, and said that it meant so much to her seeing Catherine choosing to wear one of her pieces on such an incredibly important day. Catherine has definitely adopted Queen Elizabeth's love of wearing certain pieces of jewellery that have history to them, that have meaning to them, to certain engagements and events, as well as being able to promote new and upcoming designers, or in this case, a designer who obviously the day means so much to them. There were some incredibly beautiful photographs taken inside with Catherine and William lighting candles, and the Prince of Wales giving a lovely speech where he spoke about his great-grandmother, who was Prince Philip's mother, Princess Alice of Battenberg, who hid a Jewish widow, Rachel Cohen, and 2 of her children to save them from arrest and deportation to the camps. Obviously, this was an incredibly risky thing for anybody that did that during that time, because so many people, even friends and neighbours, wouldn't think twice about reporting you. With Princess Alice's front door being opposite a local archbishop's residence, it meant that a German guard was stationed outside every day. She apparently used her deafness to her advantage whenever she was interviewed by the Gestapo and pretended not to understand the questions. Because of her actions, that family survived. People are so quick to jump to when they want to throw insults at the royal family, the connections to Germany, and they always throw these 2 people in everybody's faces. And needless to say, much like these other 2, it's a very good job that they detached themselves from the UK and from the monarchy. Both American divorcees did the royal family a favour, in my opinion. They took out the weakest links. Now back to the real prince and princess who everybody likes talking about, who after the ceremony chatted with lots of survivors and their family members who they had met at previous services over the years. And there was a particularly special reunion for Catherine, who met up with Stephen Frank, who embraced her with such a lovely hug it made me cry. And also Yvonne Bernstein, again, the incredible affection between the two women as they chatted and caught up. Both Stephen and Yvonne had taken part in a photo shoot for an exhibition marking the 75th anniversary of the Auschwitz liberation, with Catherine directing and taking the photographs herself. Just when you think you can't love Catherine anymore, it's obvious that the incredible men and women and their stories have touched her, and she shows such affection for them, it's like they're extended family members. Now, Catherine and William are, of course, always well received, but one compliment in particular stood out from Mr. Robert Berkowitz, who told the princess that William is the luckiest man in the world to have her, which made her giggle when she said that she'll make sure that she tells William that. I certainly agree with Mr. Berkowitz. He is indeed one lucky man. Now, moving away from the royal couples, let's talk about a young lady who at 18 could have called herself a princess, but decided not to. Lady Louise, who has been photographed recently in her army fatigues. The daughter of the Duke and Duchess of Edinburgh is thought to want to follow in the footsteps of her late grandmother and may join the army upon leaving university. Princess Elizabeth was a junior commander in the Auxiliary Territorial Service in the Second World War, a move that reportedly stressed her parents out to no end. Lady Louise joined the University Officer Training Corps at St Andrews, where she is currently in her third and final year of studies, and managed to fit all of her army training around that. She has received basic weapons training, leadership lessons, rough terrain navigation under pressure, and has also taken part in war games. Judging by the smile on her face, it looks like it won't just be the Spanish royals with a daughter in the military. Prince Edward and Sophie brought up both their children with the knowledge that they would be working for a living and to forge career paths of their own. At 21, Lady Louise looks to have a bright future ahead of her, regardless of which career path that she chooses. She is an absolute delight, and she has turned into such a lovely young woman who I'm in no doubt does her parents extremely proud. Now, moving away from the real royals, I have got some devastating news for you. In some breaking news that came out yesterday, I could barely keep myself together before I had the chance to record this video. Meghan's new podcasts for Archetypes has been pushed back with no release date in sight by Lemonada. This was the organisation, the streaming service that Meghan went to after her contract basically got torn up by Spotify and they got called lazy effing grifters by Bill Simmons. It would seem perhaps Lemonada aren't too impressed with the way that Meghan treats not only her staff, but also Spotify staff and that of Gimlet Studios. Were they the ones to pull the plug, or is it the fact that Meghan has actually produced no new content for them to air anyway? It was only a few weeks ago that it made the headlines that Meghan was about to unleash more episodes of Archetypes onto us, but that was only because Lemonada, whose company logo says "Making Life Suck Less," launched an image with "New Year, New Episodes," which got Harry and Meghan's fan base, yes, they still exist, rather excited. But sadly for them, it would seem that Meghan, quite like all of her other contracts, has not actually been working very hard and she's got no new content to give. I suppose it's probably a bit of a struggle for her, considering she stole the concept off of Rebecca Sananes, their former Archwell audio head, and now Meghan is like, I've got nobody to plagiarise from. Not only that, because of the bullying allegations that she has received from the Hollywood Reporter, which is the Hollywood Bible that people actually work with in Hollywood. More recently, top fashion magazine Vanity Fair has also called her out for being an absolute monster to work with. I don't think there's many celebrities that would want to tarnish their brand by teaming up with her. What's the expression? If you lay with dogs, you get fleas. That is something that Hollywood is all too aware of, and I'm sure they would be completely distancing themselves from a woman that is nicknamed a demon duchess in high heels. It's pretty obvious that Meghan has become a toxic force with lots of things that she touches, rather than it being the golden touch, the Midas touch. Anything that Meghan touches turns to. Now, this might be why it's been announced that Harry and Meghan are changing tactics for the 1001st time. It's been confirmed that Meghan is in fact going to the Invictus Games with her husband. I mean, I think that was pretty obvious for any of us that have been following this saga. Meghan is a textbook narcissist. She is never going to read the room. So of course she wasn't going to miss an opportunity to merch, to parade around in front of all of those cameras. Apparently they've realised that going solo wasn't working for their brand at all. In fact, anything Meghan did solo received backlash, whether it was criticism or people just poking fun at her. Her ego would not have coped very well with this. If Meghan had in fact been just testing the waters to see if she could now finally ditch the prince because she was famous and popular enough to go solo, well, I think she had that answered for her. She still needs Harry. That being said, of course, those two being together, I mean, Harry was with her when they did that awful PR stunt with the wildfires, where they cleared people out of the areas. It was confirmed in a podcast, which I'm just going to play a clip for you briefly here. Listen to it. I do apologise now in advance for the swearing, but I think it's justified. Harry and Meghan's team cleared out all of those volunteers for their little photo shoot alongside Sarah Newsom, for their safety, of course.
The day before, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry had showed up to that place, and there's like hundreds of people there volunteering. They cleared it all out. Everybody,
fuck that noise.
Take 15. These people are coming in to pretend that they're helping and get a photo op. Yeah.
Fuck them.
Yeah, I forgot about that when we went to Dr.
If that story's real, fuck them.
Yeah. Again, it was a parent of a kid that she goes to school with who the kid was there the day before. She and the kid were there the day before, and then
there's no reason not to believe it's true. Then that's awful.
Yeah.
That's stupid. That's awful. That's ridiculous.
So I fail to see the logic of whether they're together or actually on their own, whether that's going to make a difference with the dislike for this couple. Neither of them are particularly likeable. And I wonder if this is just Meghan's logic, thinking, oh, everybody will forget again that I've reinvented myself again, that I have been cast as a bully again, and if I appear looking loved up with my husband, everybody will forget and I can get some of Harry's stardust back on me. The problem being is Harry lost his stardust long ago. So whose great idea is it to push these two and their togetherness on the public again? Well, it's actually not Harry and Meghan's. It's Ashley Hansen, yes, the woman that famously pushed Meghan along the carpet, who was once their head of communications at Archwell. Well, she has now taken them on as clients at the new company, 3 Gate Strategies. If Sunshine Sachs couldn't save the couple with their famous crisis management team, and they got rid of them, and then of course WME were also unable to secure them lots of lucrative deals because of their, I would say, lack of likability, I fail to see what Ashley thinks bringing them together is going to do. The announcement said that there will be a renewed focus on the Sussexes as a brand, as a couple, as a family. So there's the hint that the children may in fact be getting ready to be wheeled out at Invictus in Canada. This new theory that the world is suddenly going to change their minds because we see them together, no doubt giving each other the goo-goo eyes, staring at each other adoringly, will help restore their image, is a little bit lost on me. It didn't work in Colombia. I don't think it's going to work at the Invictus Games either. This does sound more like Meghan's logic to me, especially when the source explained the Invictus Games will be providing the ideal opportunity to test this new strategy. Well, there you go. There's part of the problem. Harry and Meghan are already getting ready to use the Invictus as a platform for them to now reinvent themselves as happy families. 100% of all of the attention should be focused on the participants and the games to be able to make it a success. But no, Meghan's going to find a way to make it all about her, like she did with her announcement of being Nigerian, being with the Nigerian team, then going to Nigeria. She's the Princess of Nigeria. Meghan is going to find another way to do that at the Whistler Games as well. We saw this when Meghan had to come in a few days later and make her very own entrance and give a speech and come out with some crap about being with the children, even though she was photographed packed at an in and out. It was just really bizarre. But it was about Meghan having her own entrance away from her husband rather than just quietly coming in and sitting down with the rest of the people. Meghan has got to make a spectacle of herself. So it doesn't come as a shock to me that Meghan is, of course, not going to listen to people that have said maybe it's best to just let Harry keep the focus on the veterans and the games. She is, of course, not going to allow that. And Harry just does whatever his wife tells him. But my favourite bit in the story is when they said that they actually think doing this appearance together and showing the world that they're in love and a family will help turn the tide after a disastrous few weeks. I'm presuming they mean turn the tide of public opinion. And all I can say to that, guys, is I don't think Moses himself could actually manage to turn that particular tide. So guys, I will be back with you very soon, and I've got lots of other royal news stories coming to you, including some involving creepy crawlies. No, I'm not just talking about them. Take care for now. Bye.